morning, friends. Good morning, students. In today's session, we will give focus on a particular platform as a service cloud computing model that is known as the Google App Engine. Now, from the name, it is evident that as it is supported by Google, one of the major cloud providers in the market. So basically, Google App Engine is a very much popular PaaS or cloud computing model for delivering and hosting some sort of web applications in the Google managed data centers. So we will start with Google App Engine in today's lecture. So as I told you, basically it is one type of platform as a service computing model, and Google App Engine is mainly used to develop and maintain web applications across multiple servers of Google. And basically these applications are sandboxed and run across the multiple servers. So in today's session, we will just give an overview of Google App Engine and the various programming languages which which provide provided supports and data storage and the allied things. And lastly, we'll also review the security of the Google App Engine in a general manner. And we will see when or in what circumstances we will be using the Google App Engine. So as I told you that cloud computing service which provides a computing platform and a solution stack as a service. So with the conformity in relation to the service-oriented model, which covers a particular example, the PaaS service computing project of Google App Engine provides the customers or the consumers with multiple software creating tools and or libraries by which some applications can be maintained. The consumers can develop some sort of mobile apps, and they can also publish their apps in the particular computing platform. And in return, the Google maintains the applications in their own servers, and it provides all the necessary networks and the storage requirements of all the particular applications. So along with that, basically what does App Engine basically do? App Engine offers automatic scaling of the web applications also. Now what is automatic scaling? As number of requests increases for an application, App Engine automatically allocates more resources for the web applications to handle the additional demand. So by doing so, it decreases a lot of headache from the consumer's from the consumer's part. So basically the consumers don't have to do anything. He or she can just create an account in Google App Engine and start creating any applications after logging in. Normally, only the programmer or the coder should use some specific programming language platforms that the Google App Engine supports. So basically, Google App Engine is a platform as a service cloud computing platform for developing and hosting the web applications in Google managed data centers. Google's App Engine lets you run the web applications on the Google's infrastructure. So that is a very good thing from the customer's point of view. And it is very easy, and when the various applications are very easy to build and maintain in the cloud, and also it is easy to scale as the traffic and the storage needs grow. Now basically what happens is that Google App Engine does provide a free account and some paid account also, and it offers up to 1 GB of storage and enough CPU and bandwidth to support 5 million page views a month. Now, and along with that, 10 applications per Google account. So that means you can just assume that it is enough for a normal sized application to be hosted freely in the Google App Engine. And if you need some more resources, then Google App Engine does also provide that with some extra amount of money. So basically, the service is free up to a certain level of consumed resources, and only when the and only in the standard environment. But if you want a flexible environment, then you have to pay for it. So that's how the App Engine works. Now, basically, the Google App Engine primarily supports few software platforms or programming languages as such. For example, Go, PHP, Java, Python, Node.js, .NET, and Ruby applications. Though it can support other languages also somewhat via some custom runtimes. So basically, if you are efficient in Java or Python or PHP, then that means you can easily build some type of web applications very easily through the Google App Engine. So here we are saying that what are the various programming languages which Google App Engine supports. At the very first, we have Java. App Engine runs Java apps on a Java 7 virtual machine, and it uses the Java servlet standard for the different web applications. So all the related things which Java provides, they are supported in Google App Engine, and you can develop your applications using Java very efficiently. Right now, there's a huge demand for the Python programming language all over the world, and Python is also supported in developing web applications in Google App Engine. It uses the web server gateway interface standard for using Python-based applications, and Python applications can be written using some popular frameworks, like for example Django, and any Python code that uses the CGI, the Common Gateway Interface standard. So along with Java, it also supports Python to a very large extent. And as I told you, PHP is very easy to develop. Various apps can be used very efficiently using PHP, and PHP is also supported by Google App Engine. And then comes Google's Go. So basically, what is Go? Go is Google's open source programming language. It is tightly coupled with Google App Engine, and applications can be written using App Engine's Go SDK. So that is a proprietary, not proprietary, that is a particular open source programming environment being provided by Google itself. So the developers can also use Google's Go programming language to develop various applications via the Google App Engine. So these are the various programming languages support which is being provided by the Google's App Engine. Now, apart from these features, Google App Engine does provide a high level of reliability. It has been said that all the built Google App Engine applications have a 99.95% of uptime SLA. So basically, App Engine is designed in such a manner that it can sustain multiple data center outages without any sort of downtime. So you can easily assume that Google App Engine is a very efficient tool to work with. So basically, when you are developing some sort of applications, you also need to maintain the various databases along with that particular application. And here, Google App Engine provides a Google Cloud SQL programming language. It is called as GoSQL. Sorry, it is called as GSQL. Oh, sorry, GQL. So basically, what does the GQL do? Basically, the Google App Engine integrated Google App Engine's integrated Google Cloud database is there. Which is called as Google Cloud Data Store, and it has a SQL-like syntax. So anyone who is habituated with using the SQL can also work with GQL. So GQL is just like an SQL type of a programming language, but it does have some certain differences. For example, it does not support the join statement. So basically, using the Google Cloud SQL or GQL, it is shortly called as GQL. It provides a relational SQL database service. It is just similar to MySQL or DBMS. And also Google App Engine does provide the App Engine data store, which is a NoSQL schemaless object based data storage with a query engine and some atomic transactions. So using those types of databases, Google App Engine does provide the data storage functionalities to the consumers. Now, what is the Google Cloud Store or data store? So basically, it is one type of RESTful service for storing and querying the data. It is fast, scalable, and highly available solutions. It provides multiple layers of redundancy, and all the data is replicated to a multiple data centers. It provides different levels of access control, and it is HTTP based. So basically, what do you mean by RESTful service? So basically, REST stands for Representational State Transfer. REST is a web standards based architecture and uses HTTP protocol. It revolves around a resource where every component is a resource, and the resource is accessed by a common interface using some HTTP standard methods. So there are some popular HTTP methods which are commonly used for REST-based architecture, such as get method, which provides a read-only access to a resource, then post method used to create a new resource, then delete method used to remove a resource, and put method used to update an existing resource or create a new resource. So basically, uh, by using these services, RESTful web services can be uh, made. So basically, a web service. What is a web service? A web service is a collection of some open protocols and standards used for exchanging data between the applications or the systems. So basically, the software applications written in various programming languages and running on various platforms can use the web services to exchange the data over a computer network. Now, this interoperability is due to the use of the open standards. Now, the web services which are based on the REST architecture are known as RESTful web services. Now, these web services uses HTTP methods, as I told you, to implement the concept of REST architecture. So, Google App Engine uses such type of architectures or services for storing and querying the data from the database in the Google Cloud Store. So, this is how the things have been getting done. Now, App Engine. So basically, App Engine services we will deal next with App Engine services. So basically, App Engine also provides a variety of services to perform common operations when managing your application. URL fetch, as I told you, a particular application can need to fetch some sort of addresses, URLs. So it can do so. Facilitates the application's access to resources on the internet, such as web services or data, via some sort of HTTP protocols. Next is mail. So basically, it facilitates the application to send email messages using Google's infrastructure. And last is Memcache. So basically, what is Memcache? It is a high performance in memory key value storage. It is some kind of cache memory actually. It can be used to store temporary data which doesn't need to be persisted for a very long time. So this is the various services that App Engine provides. Now, coming to the security concept, as I told you at the very beginning, Google App Engine uh, runs the different applications across multiple servers using the sandbox technology. Now, what is sandbox technology basically? See, in computer security, sandbox is a security mechanism for separating running programs, usually in an effort to mitigate the system failures or the software vulnerabilities from spreading. So what happens is that all the hosted applications run in a secure environment that provides limited access to the underlying operating system. Sandbox isolates the application in its own secure, reliable environment that is independent of the hardware, operating system, and the physical location of a web server. So basically, it is often used to execute untested, or you can say untrusted programs or code. possibly from some sort of unverified or untrusted third parties, without risking harm to the host machine or the operating system. So in that context, we can say that the feature of providing a highly controlled environment by the sandboxes may be seen as a specific example of virtualization. So what are the limitations which have been imposed by sandbox? An application can only access other computers over the internet using the provided URL, fetch and email services. Other computers can only connect through the application through the HTTP or the HTTPS requests on the standard ports. Applications cannot write to local file system in any of the runtime environments. Now this thing is very important. So some restrictions are being imposed. What are those restrictions? Developers have read-only access to the file system on the App Engine applications. That means basically the App Engine applications can use only virtual file systems like the GAE file store. App Engine can also execute codes called from an HTTP request. And application code runs only in response to a web request. A queued task or a scheduled task can must return the response data within 60 seconds. So a request handler cannot spawn a sub process or execute code after the response has been sent. That means there are some definite time restrictions also for executing various tasks. And lastly, I also want to mention one point, that is users may upload arbitrary Python modules when developing the applications using Python, but only if they are pure Python. That means some other modifications like C and Pyrex modules are generally not supported here. So using the concept of sandbox technology, we can provide some sort of security to the various applications on the Google Cloud, Google App Engine platform. Now, under what circumstances should we use the App Engine? Now, so basically, what are the advantages of using the Google App Engine? You should use Google App Engine when you don't want to get troubled for setting up a server. That means you don't want to get bothered uh, about setting up the various server machines or networking part and the different types of software platforms and all those issues. You want the instant for free, nearly infinite scalability support. As I told you, Google App Engine does provide a huge amount of scalability to the various projects being hosted there. Your application's traffic is spiky and rather unpredictable. That means you cannot say for sure how much users will be accessing your application. And the application curve may be very much spiky. So in that case, Google App Engine can be used efficiently. And you don't feel like taking care of your own server monitoring tools. You need pricing that fits your actual usage and isn't time slot based. You are able to chunk long tasks into 60-second pieces. And lastly, you are able to work without direct access to local file system. So these are the specific situations which can be used as a reason to use the Google App Engine. So with that, we will be closing today's discussion here. So thank you.